Alright, everybody, welcome back to another This Week at Bungie. This is TWAB number 9. I double checked. We are absolutely on TWAB number 9 this week. It is October 21st, the week after Festival of the Lost has dropped. And let's just dive right in. As I just mentioned, the Festival of the Lost has been in full swing for a week. So if you're still trying to get a good roll for the Jurassic Green Pulse Rifle or the Hollowed Verse? What's it? There's the werewolf, Braytech werewolf, and the horror story.
And the horror story, yes.
The horror story, yeah. You can still get some good rolls on those, so definitely go check those out. And the Grandmaster Nightfall this week is the Exodus Crash. So you can get
new DLC Grandfall
Shotgun or Shadow Price are dropping this week if you want an adept version of those. And that is that's going to be a tricky Grandmaster because he likes to teleport, go invisible, and there's a lot of electricity with those shanks. So,
again, I heard there's a cheese to do it, so I'm gonna have to look into it later.
Oh, I'm sure somebody found a way to nuke him real quick.
Yeah,
which is probably going to be the strat. But Trials is coming back this week. By the time you guys are hearing this, Trials will have been back. And this week we have the return of Trials Labs. However, it is going to be a little bit different this week. While the last Trials Labs took over the entire node and you were forced to play in the Trials Labs, this one will be its own separate node as it is a freelance mode where you can only go in solo and you will only face off against other solo team members and enemies. So everybody you're playing against is all solo queuing and all your teammates are also solo queuing. So you don't have to worry about anybody running together. So we'll see if that maybe fixes the solo queue experience for players. But if you don't want to run that, you can still run normal trials with your clan or friends as per usual.
Now, my only thing with the freelance thing is I can kind of see this working one of two ways, that the solo population will go flawless either more often than anything else in the world, or it's still going to be a very, very low number because with most players that do play Trials solo, they normally look for two teammates who've either gone flawless before the flawless pool opens up again so that they can go flawless in turn, right? Because the whole solo experience is, no matter which way you look at it, like, it's still going to be a 50-50 gamble. Even if you are facing a full stack of 3, you still don't know if your teammates are going to play properly, run with you, their KD spread is good enough to even be in the playlist. Maybe they're just there to get the engram real quick and bounce. Like, there's so many variables now, and again, like with the freelance pool, in all honesty, like I don't see it being better than joining the regular pool where you might get lucky and you might match up with a clan of 2. You played really well, and then you send an invite. Now you have a 3-stack squad. So
yeah, it just kind of adds more
variables.
Be
really tricky
now, right? It's not instead. It's like you don't have to worry about going up against a stacked team, but exactly as you said, someone could just be going in there to get the engrams. Someone that doesn't ever play Trials or even Crucible in general and just wants to try to get even their seasonal challenge done, because you don't have to win any whole games. You just have to win 20 rounds over the course of the weekend for that weekly seasonal challenge. You get yourself a free Reed's Regret. So, of course, that's very tempting for somebody that doesn't normally play Trials. But if they don't normally play Trials, you're kind of stepping into the wolves' den, right?
Yeah, and again, like I just find that you're better off trying to play in the regular pool. Hopefully, find a clan of 2, and just build your team from there, man. Like, in all honesty, because you could probably play in the freelance pool. You guys match, win 2 games straight, or you win a game, convincingly 5-0 them. You invite them to play in your squad, and maybe you're not as good as a team as you thought you were once you play an actual 3-stack, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot that goes into it, and I just feel like with the freelance pool, I think it's nice to have after you go flawless. For the players who go flawless and, they don't have really anyone to play with per se, play in the freelance pool, because at least then you're only playing randoms in random flawless players, so you don't have to worry about that grind after the fact of you getting thug stomped every 5 seconds. Now you have a fighting chance in the flawless pool because now you know you're not fighting a full stack. That's the way I see the freelance pool working. In all honesty, I'm gonna test it this weekend once I go flawless. Yeah.
I'm gonna hop into it as well once we go flawless, just to kind of see and judge it up for ourselves and get a feel for it, because and just see if it feels different from solo queuing, because solo queuing last weekend and the week before, it's just it doesn't feel great.
Honestly, it's almost impossible to win. I've solo queued every Sunday afternoon. Nothing positive ever happens from me doing it. I've actually given up on grinding adept weapons once I go flawless. Like, I just don't think it's possible for me by myself in the flawless pool. And believe me, I have tried. So I just don't even bother. It's just too much of a hassle and a headache. Like, every match feels like you're going to the lighthouse. Like, it's too tiring and exhausting, and I don't think it's good. It's not worth it.
So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll get some good numbers and feedback and whatnot, and just see how it is, because I know they are talking about potentially getting rid of the flawless pool in general, and a lot of people are leaning towards that. Yeah, but that has implications as well. It might not necessarily be the best thing either. So it is tough. Bungie's in a tough spot because it's very hard to balance it and get it right for everybody. You're never going to get it right for everybody, but if they can at least get a right balance for majority of the players to still feel okay, where the veterans are still getting their loot and having a good time and playing how they play, but the new people to Trials can still get access to the loot.
I mean, honestly, think about it, though. Like, you get rid of the flawless pool. Yes, the flawless players are going to wreak havoc in the playlist now, like, no matter what you end up doing. But at least you being a solo player, if you want to go flawless, you have a chance to LFG with flawless players to get flawless. And you don't have to worry about facing other flawless players. And because regardless of which way you look at it, regardless of which way you look at it, like, if you're already struggling by yourself in the regular pool, and if you're already struggling against flawless players, then what does it matter to you if the pool is there or not? You're going to struggle regardless of the fact. So you might as well give yourself the best opportunity to make the best teammates possible.
Yep. And once the flawless pool activates, your friends that are better than you, that can potentially help you, or that's no longer an option now, because now you're just going to be dragged into flawless, and you're going to be it's going to be a lot more tough. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes this weekend. Hopefully it changes up a bit, but I think the main problem at the end of the day is the flawless pool. So that's what they need to work on.
Honestly, if they're going to keep it, just put it on Monday to Tuesday. Who cares? No one plays Mondays.
All right, moving on from there, we have a costume contest. It wouldn't be the Festival of the Lost if they didn't have a fashion show. Guardians have been donning masks while hunting for spectral pages and candy, but now it's time to see who can cook up the best costume. Are you interested? Here are the ground rules. First of all, just get dressed up. Masks, costumes, badass armor combinations are welcome. Creative use of settings, shaders, and vehicles get extra points. Group shots are allowed. You need to post your submissions to Twitter, Instagram, or the Community Creations portal with the hashtag FOTL Fashion 2021. What is up for grabs? It is, of course, an emblem. It is the Levante's Prize emblem, and I will throw it up on the screen for everybody to see. It's a kind of a cool looking emblem, I'm not gonna lie. So it's kind of nice. They will be sharing the winners through the end of October 31st, so we will keep an eye out for that. The in-game fashion isn't the only thing that they are putting on. How about an art show too? Over the last few years, they've seen absolutely wonderful creations sprout up around the Festival of the Lost. Some are created with pen and paper, others do some digital arts that cook up amazing spooky effects. If pens aren't your thing, out of paper, no problem. Grab a pumpkin and carve something with it. Here's what you'll need to do. Make some art. Whether it be a pumpkin carving, a digital painting, or something handcrafted to show your skills, it is all welcome. Post your submissions to Twitter, Instagram, or the community creations portals with the hashtag FOTLArtShow2021. Just like the costume contest, the winners will be able to get a new emblem called the Chromatic Intention, which I'll throw up on the page. A nice little spiffy emblem. It's kind of almost like a kaleidoscope looking effect going around on the banner there. It's kind of weird.
Changing my emblem from my flawless emblem.
Never. But it is it's kind of nice, and I'll throw that up on there. But to help people get started with some of the stencils, they have posted some print-out stencil sheets that you can make. There is the Witch Queen emblem, the Bungie shield, and some people have shown some of the pumpkins they've already cut out. The classic bug-out one, which is the Telesto, which everybody knows is Bungie's favorite weapon, as it is just constantly getting worked on, because the Telesto plays by its own rules, and
the Telesto,
will
a.k.a.
do what it wants.
the besto. Shout out to Fallout for that one. I like all his videos and what he renames all the exotics.
Telesto, a.k.a. the besto. That's how it happens.
That's how
we got some more.
Just be like that.
It really do. But we got some more pumpkin carvings there, so be sure to check that out. I'll leave a link to the TWAB in the description, so definitely go check that out. As we move on, we move into some hotfixes. We have hotfix 3.3.1.1 release.
So many ones.
Is live. And earlier today, they released hotfix 3.3.0.3. Whole other numbers coming on. This hotfix resolved several issues, including the Prophecy Ghost Shell now takes shaders as intended. And in the Corrupted Strikes, Sadia's shield no longer regenerates at an unusually high speed. So they want to clarify some things with the Xbox versus Microsoft Store Silver clarification. Last week, Destiny 2 launched on the Microsoft Store for PC. Players on Xbox can use the same Microsoft account they use on Xbox to log into the Microsoft Store on any Windows PC to play Destiny with their characters. Due to the Microsoft website selling products for both Xbox and Windows PC version of Destiny 2, players should carefully verify their buying silver for the correct platform. While they are working with Microsoft to make these names and descriptions clearer for everyone, if players purchase silver from Microsoft's website for the wrong platform, they'll need to log into that platform to obtain the silver. The same applies for emote bundles, but players will still have to visit Master Raoul in the tower on the platform to obtain the emote. So if you switch between PC and Xbox and say you purchase your silver on the PC and you go to your Xbox and you're like, well, where's my silver? It's because it's sent to your PC, so you got to go back to your PC and just claim it from there. So it's not lost, it's just it's there. So be sure to be careful where you're purchasing it. Just purchase it on the one that you're playing it on the most. I'd say as a general rule of thumb. If you're always on Xbox, just make sure you just purchase it on Xbox or so on.
Yeah, I never understood why you would buy the silver on an account you barely go on.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
They go on to mention here how the silver is just quoted in the store, so you can read that there. And the silver bundles, such as the Season of the Lost Silver Bundle and the Throne of Atheon emote bundle, are also platform specific. Some more known issues. The eyes on the Scaran Corvus mask no longer glow. The one punch finisher no longer makes a sound while the finisher isn't executed. Still remember that from last week. A couple of these are still from last week, actually, I believe. Some players may appear invisible or visually loading for extended periods of time. The German name for the heir apparent is inaccurately translated. The surplus and overflow perks are translated to the same word in German. Scorn snipers are unintentionally draining energy from Titan's banner shields in PvE activities. That's
God,
hilarious.
I was supposed to say, yo, what?
That is hilarious. For a full list of issues, check out the known issues article. Moving on from there, they have the movies of the week, which are definitely going to be some Halloween-oriented little skits that are definitely worth checking out. Then as we move on, as they say here, if you're aiming for a movies of the week emblem, make sure to include hashtag movies of the week in the title of your creation when uploading, so that they can make sure that they see it. The artists of the week, we have as you know, we have our artists in the Destiny community are absolutely fantastic, and we got some spooky art going on right now for the Festival of the Lost, so definitely go check out those. And now we also have a last little tidbit here, which looks like this will finish off the TWAB. So it says the team here has been hard at work over the last few months planning some special things for the 30th anniversary release, not just in content, but some quality of life updates. Cosmo and I, a.k.a. DMG, have been responding to a few questions here and there about bug fixes, like I pass on Dune Marcher's Chain Lightning, some aim assist tuning on the Vex Mythoclast, which will help keep the weapon viable in PvE while addressing some PvP concerns, and even a fix for those pesky Valor overflowing screens that occasionally pop up in the middle of your Crucible matches.
Oh, thank
I've
Jesus.
seen happen a lot because people will be in the middle of trials and then it's Valor overflowing and you're dead. That's when Bungie just hits you with that tough. It's unfortunate. They say, our upcoming patch is more than just bug fixes, though. The team was able to squeeze in a little time for other bits of exotic weapon tuning as they transition to fully focus on the Witch Queen. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a full season's worth of buffs, but a handful of things to give some exotics a fighting chance in a given Guardian's loadout. I've heard whispers of a few changes that have already got me thinking about switching things up, and also a few previews of upcoming exotic ornaments that I need to get my hands on. The end of November / early December is the target for the full write-up from our sandbox-centric team, so stay tuned. Until then, we've got spiders to dodge and pumpkins to carve. Cheers, DMG. So he says he's heard whispers. I'm just going to go right out and say it's the whisper of the worm potentially getting a buff. It's been dead for a while. It was a very good exotic sniper, like the best exotic sniper in the game for a while, and one of the top damage dealers. And then, yeah, it's just kind of fallen off. And snipers are in a decent place right now for PvE. They could probably deal with a little bit more damage for PvE for bosses, but like considering it's an exotic and you had to go through like a mini dungeon essentially for it, it was essentially not the 0 hour. We had the other one on IO for it. We had to earn it plus the masterwork for it. So it's like and just in general as an exotic, it should feel a bit more powerful, right?
I don't even remember what it does. It's been so long since I've touched that thing.
It had the intrinsic where as long as you keep getting headshots, you keep getting your ammo back, but it used to grab ammo from an infinite pool, but now it just grabs ammo from reserves.
So
as soon as it did that, people kind of dropped it off, and then other things were just out damaging it, so there was just no point in kind of using it. But if they've tuned that a little bit, maybe made the reserves a little bit more on it, and given it a bit more damage in PvE against whatever, then who knows? Perhaps that's viable again. I would definitely be willing to pull it back out of the old vault. So.
And Whisper still counts as a heavy weapon, correct?
It does.
I think they need to move it to special ammo. I feel like if you move it to special ammo, it gets higher reserves that way, so you're helping the weapon like tremendously in that regard.
Yes. Agreed.
And it also makes it more viable to use, like even in like something like PvP, I guess. Like as long as you're landing headshots, you know, you always have your magazine ready to go. It's kind of like Revoker in that way, but without missing. You actually have to hit the target.
Yeah, you still have to hit the target, exactly. But yeah, I would like that change. I think putting it there would be beneficial.
Like even with trace rifles, like I feel like if you just change the ammo economy for some of the weapons, like that's already a buff as is. Like especially if you put trials in like the kinetic ammo slots where they get infinite ammo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, they might break the PvE meta, but for PvP, I mean like they're not doing anything crazy. They do very consistent damage, and they're great team firing weapons. Don't get me wrong. Especially Aegis Scepter is really good. Wave Splitter, honestly, that thing's like the dueling weapon of trace rifles, and I feel like it would be meta if it wasn't in the special ammo slot. And I mean, it's already held back being an exotic, so I don't see what the problem is, in all honesty.
Yeah, it would be. I think it could be a welcome change. I mean, you could even do the same thing to the Darcy. I don't like the Darcy at all. But
Yeah,
I mean,
Darcy.
like,
Darcy needs to be a special weapon. Because in all honesty,
it's
like
not doing it any favors in the heavy.
its aim assist is really great. Landing headshots with that weapon is super easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as like just like if you're not an avid sniper, but you would want to use something that's easy, Darcy will be there for you.
Yeah.
Other than that, like I don't see Darcy doing anything. Like that weapon needs a lot of love.
Yeah. So, if they move the heavy snipers into this special slot, I think that would potentially solve some things. But again, I don't know what other can of worms it might open up, right? So
yeah, for sure.
That's always the trick with Destiny. We fix one thing and then something else potentially happens, or Telesto back.
Breaks.
Exactly.
So.
All right. Well, it looks like that'll wrap it up though for this week at Bungie. This again was week 9 on October 21st. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. Make sure you guys stay hydrated. I am G3 Hydration.
G3 Tyrant.
Have yourselves an absolutely wonderful day.
Peace!